G'day, I'm Brett and I'm a freelance videographer. Now, if you've got a Canon camera that shoots MXF, then you've got the ability to add markers either into a shot itself or to entire clips. And that's actually really helpful in some situations for speeding up an edit. So this video is going to show you my workflow for that process. So I'm demonstrating this on a Canon C200, which shoots 3 different formats: MP4, MXF, and RAW. The ability to mark clips only works when you're shooting in MXF. There's 3 different types of markers that you can add to your clips. The shot mark. This is a marker within a clip on a specific frame that you choose while recording. The tick mark. This adds a tick to the whole clip so that you can only add it after you've stopped recording. And the OK mark. And this works the same as a tick mark, but it says OK instead of a tick, and it prevents the camera from deleting that clip. You can also add these markers in medium mode or during playback if you want. So of these 3, I personally only use the shot mark and the tick mark. To me, a tick mark feels more like a good indicator, whereas the OK mark is just like OK. The 2 main things I've found these useful for are long interviews and pieces to camera. So let's say you're shooting an interview and you end up with a clip that runs for about half an hour or so, and there's a handful of really good responses in there that you'll have to dig up later. Shot marks can really come in handy for this to make little pointers for what you or the director thought were the best responses at the time. And likewise, for pieces to camera, you usually know when you've heard a good read of a script. So because I tend to button on and off for each take, this is where a clip marker becomes really useful. You just mark the whole clip when you get a good take. The editor can go straight to that one when they're assembling. And that's another thing. If you're handing off to an editor who might not have been there on the day, it can be really useful for them to have these markers in the metadata itself. So I'll show you how to do this now on the C200, and it's pretty much the same on any Canon camera that shoots MXF. So to use clip markers on any of these cameras is incredibly simple. All you have to do is set an assignable switch to any of the different marker functions. In this case, I'm going to use number 5, 6, and 7. So first off, we just need to make sure that our record format is in XFAVC, which it is there. And then all you have to do is jump across to your assignables menu, and you can see here I've just set number 5 to add shot mark, number 6 to add the tick mark, and number 7 to add the OK mark. So now I'll just show you how that works in practice. So if I'm recording and something cool happens that I want to make a note of in the clip, I'll add a shot mark. So I'll just hit 5, and you see it just adds a little shot mark there. And that'll stay, the display will stay up for a couple of seconds, but it'll apply the mark at the frame where you pushed that button. So again, we can do that. And I think it allows you to add up to like 100 of these per shot or something like that. So it's quite a few. Okay, I'll stop that. And now I'll show you how the clip marks work. So if we record a clip again, and then stop it, so that's its own clip. Then I hit the tick mark, and you can see it just adds mark there. I'll show you the same for the OK mark. Works exactly the same way pretty much. Switch that off, and press that for OK. And then we're sorted. So if I go across to the media tab now, we can see how they display there, and you can see there's one clip I did earlier which has nothing on it, and you can see the little S next to the clip in the thumbnail there, which says that there's a shot mark on it, and then this one is ticked, and this one has the OK mark, and that's it. Alright, so I've just recorded a stack of clips with and without markers. I'll show you now how I read them and prepare them for an edit. So if you're editing within Premiere Pro, unfortunately the metadata that you create in camera doesn't carry through to that. It would be awesome if it did. But what you need is the utility software, which is called Canon MXF Utility. If you don't have that, just go to the Canon website or Google Canon MXF Utility, and it'll bring you to this page where you can download it. So after you've installed that, then just open up Canon MXF Utility. And in this case, I've navigated to the sample footage that I've shot, and you can see there's a whole stack of clips here. And in the thumbnails, where I've added the tick mark, you can see a little tick has been added. And for any that don't have that, what I would perceive as the not quite as good takes as the ones that I earmarked for the editor to check those ones first as the best takes. The other clip that I've also marked was the second clip here, and if we look down the bottom here, you can see these 4 little orange indicators. They are shot marks that I added throughout. So with that example of imagining that we've shot an interview and we've got about 4 or so good responses throughout that interview, these are where I marked those responses to be. You can use this little arrow to scrub forward to each of those points. So what we have to do is add those marks to the same clip in Premiere Pro. So the first one is at 11:59:51:03. I've selected the clip there already and just punch in 11:59:51:03. Takes us to that. I'll hit M, adds a shot mark. Next one was at 12:00:34:08. 12:00:34:08. M for mark. Okay, and then, all right, the next one is 12:01:24:06. 12:01:24:06, mark. And the last one is at 12:01:53:01. 12:01:53:01 and mark. So if I pull this clip into a sequence now, you can see I've got 4 markers on it. If I go across to the logging panel, I've got all of my boxes here that I can add comments if I want. So at this point, if I was editing this, I'd dig in a bit deeper, scroll across and just watch the clip and be like, why did they mark this? And say if it was like, oh, that was a really good response there, I might be like, okay, great response. Drag out the time code a bit so that I can see it on the clip. Or just even if I need to reposition it a little, say if most likely we put the marker in obviously after we got the response, it might have actually started a wee bit sooner than that. So you can refine it there. And then same thing again, I'll be like, all right, so they noted this section, let's play it. Oh yeah, that was another awesome response. So another awesome response. And again, I can tweak the start of that. I'm just dragging this time out. This is actually a pretty good way to do it, just dragging the time code backwards, because then you can stretch it back across and you'd obviously see the waveform there for the audio in your interview. And again, skipping forward, checking this out. And same thing there. Let's take a look at that. Oh yeah, that was a pretty good response. So final comment here. So like I mark stuff up all the time in clips just to help keep track of what people are talking about in long interviews like this. So I think that's quite a useful thing to do. And then you can see that we've already logged all of the really good responses. Obviously you can go through and like watch everything if you want to and dig up what else is good there. But this is just a great way to get a good head start, I reckon. So the next thing I want to look at are the clip markers, which are the ticks that I've put on the various clips. And for this, I like to relabel the clips to delineate them from the takes that were considered not as good. So in this case, you can see we've got a tick here, a tick here, a tick here, one here, and one here. So what I will do is just take a note of those names. So 157, 160, 164. Let's just go those three at the first because my short-term memory isn't the best. So 157, 160, 164, and let's just change the label. I quite like the Caribbean label, so let's go that. And we've done up to 6.4, so now let's do 6.7 and 7.1, and that's it. So 6771, we'll change those labels. And then we can easily see what all of the clips were that we thought were the best at the time. So then I grab those, drop just those in. So if I was doing, say, a piece to camera and I had a whole bunch of takes that were considered the best takes, I might just start with this and start building those. And if I didn't think I had everything there that I need, then sure, go back and dig through all the other footage, but why not start with the best? So start there and go through and then just build it down from there. And that's it. Before I wrap this up though, it is worth mentioning there's a similar function in a lot of Sony cameras that shoot XAVC called clip flag that I think is readable in Catalyst Browse. But I don't think they have the equivalent of a shot mark at this point in time, just the main clip mark. Hope that helps you, and happy shooting.